Black and white ones, red and white ones, big and small. Cows are the engines which drive the UK dairy industry, but responsible for them are the ever hard-working UK dairy farmers. Farming itself is a 365-day job, which requires strength, persistence and dedication. By no means is it an easy task. A hereditary occupation, farming uses the process of succession to pass the farm on down the family line. However, in some cases succession is merely just assumed within families, and some farming sons feel an expectation to take over the farm.
I sort of half wished that one of my three sisters had been a brother, then there might have been another alternative.
I see the pressure that he puts on my brother, but I don't get that same pressure. I'm never called lazy.
Gonna be a farmer like your dad? Yeah, sure, cool. I'd love to.
I think it's really important that people talk about it and that they talk about it before it becomes a problem.
Life's too short, isn't it, not do what you want to do, really?
This is the hidden world behind family farming succession. Traditionally, just as the monarchy works, sons are expected to take over the farm once their fathers have retired or passed away. According to research of farms surveyed in the UK, 84% use the process of family succession. As a dairy farmer's son myself, I have drifted from this convention and have no plans to be a dairy farmer anytime soon. But for some, such as my dad Bill, that decision hasn't been so easy. Being the third generation on the farm has left him with the weight of continuing the family legacy, and for him being the only son in the family, it has made the burden ever so more difficult. But after working as a dairy farmer for over 40 years, Bill gave up the dairy aspect of farming in 2012.
I sort of half wished that one of my three sisters had been a brother, then there might have been another alternative. Yeah.
Bill enjoyed farming to an extent as a youngster, but became more reluctant as he got older.
I didn't hate it though. I didn't hate helping out, but at the same time I wasn't thrilled with it either. I was much more keener to do homework and studies at school than do farm work. You know, I throw the hay in, but I wasn't going to, volunteering to go milking, or I never did any tractor driving at all till after I left school.
Looking back, he reckons his father before him may have had similar feelings.
Parts of me say, yes, he just did it because it was there, but you know, perhaps a lot of farmers have done that in the past. It is an easy option because it is there, but it's not the easy option if you haven't got the drive and the skills to carry on with it.
For my older brother Tristan, he himself has little ambition to become a dairy farmer. From studying a music degree in Leeds to living in Amsterdam, he's had the opportunity to find his own feet. This isn't to say, though, that he hasn't felt niggles of expectation along the way.
From an early age, it's always sort of sarcastically and in a jokey manner, always like, oh, you're going to be a farmer like your dad? Yeah, sure, cool, I'd love to. But it's not real pressure, I suppose. It's like I've been able to move abroad, to move to Leeds, and go on holiday. It's not like I'm committed to it.
Partly because of his experience growing up on the farm, Tristan has since become vegetarian.
I mean, there were cases from when I was younger having to witness a cow get put down. That was quite distressing. I remember my mum just being like, don't watch from the windows. Just stay downstairs. But I ran upstairs anyway and watched from the window, and then watched this cow get shot in the head. And it was as a kid it was very distressing. It was took quite a toll, I think.
Will you feel a sense of guilt if obviously this farm at some point gets sold?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't explain that guilt because I don't know it. I haven't felt it yet, but I'm assured that I would feel a lot of guilt if it came to that.
Becky is a farmer's daughter who hasn't continued within the industry. She believes that because of her gender, she had less pressure put on her growing up compared to her older brother Josh.
I see the pressure that he puts on my brother, but I don't get that same pressure. I'm never called lazy. Whereas I've been to uni, got my own job the same as my brother has, but he's called lazy. And I'm not. I was more the one on the farm when we were younger, like playing outside, than him. And then sort of he was on like his Game Boy or PlayStation, and I was normally the one playing outside. And then as we got older, he doesn't care.
Her dad's pressure and brother's reluctance has resulted in conflict between the two.
I think they've got a good relationship, but it's hard because I think my dad talks down to him quite a lot because he doesn't see that Josh works as hard as him, if you know what I mean.
Were cut out years ago, mustn't they, to do 2 acres a day with one of these.
For dairy farmer Andrew, he doesn't own his own farm but instead works on multiple other farms. He has a teenage daughter but says he wouldn't force her to get into farming, even if she was a boy.
They've got to do what they want to do, haven't they? And not be ruled by the parents all the time.
Family farming succession is partly on the decline due to the rise of industrial megafarms. These US-style megafarms can host over 2,000 cattle, compared to the UK average herd size of 143.
I should think in the future, when they've built these big farms up, they're going to have to be split up again and start again, aren't they? From small holdings rather than have great big farms with thousands of acres they're running after. Because, let's face it, it's a lot of work for somebody to mind with all the paperwork and tell the workers what to do and, you know, get on with the job in hand, really.
Jean spent part of her childhood growing up on her family's farm, and as a sentiment has kept particular objects belonging to the farm.
My dad used to actually squirt the milk off the cow in my mouth. Just did it. You know, it'd all drip down my chin, but at that age I wasn't bothered. I used to have to help him swill the cows out because we didn't have any, it was just all done with a brush and a shovel and a wheelbarrow, and that's what you did. But we used to cool the milk. That pump there is the pump we used to cool the milk down before it went in the churn.
Jean's dad attempted to get her into farming, which initially she went along with.
He bought me clogs and an overall. It's only when I look back now I think, blinking heck, I must have been really easy going. You know, some girls would have turned around and said, don't be ridiculous. Well, they would now. Not then you didn't. You just had what was available, I suppose. It was easier in some respects because you weren't so big. It was comfortable. You just had what you got and did it, whereas now they seem to want more cows and more there's more equipment now on farms, isn't there? It isn't just milking, is it? It's all the paperwork that they have to do and that, whereas there wasn't much of that.
The number of cows on a farm has changed dramatically over the years, with the average herd size growing nearly double since 1996.
Come on, girl.
Over at this dairy farm in Cheshire, it's milking time for farmer James Capewell.
Sit down.
Growing up with his grandparents on a small farm, James has mustered up over 50 years of farming experience. The job in hand is by no means an easy one though, and should there not be a suitable farming successor in place, implications can occur.
They don't have to really be paid out for the others in the family. Probably some part of the actual farm could be sold off in a future day. But money is tight always in farming. Everything is all down to bricks and mortar or grass and land and everything. It's only when you actually sell up at the very end of it that you actually make money out of the farming.
Farms traditionally run down the male line in the family. However, in James's case, the farm which he works runs through his wife Jackie's family, and has done for 5 generations. With James himself having 3 daughters, finding a successor who wants to take over can prove difficult.
It could be quite hard. At the moment my youngest is showing most interest, but she's also having a tendency to go into IT as well. So she could do the IT part and pay somebody to actually carry on with the farming side.
Although James has no sons, he feels because of the current farming climate, he wouldn't expect his son to take over the farm.
Not with the state of play of farming as today, no. It's a lot harder, to my way of looking at it, and there is a lot more red tape involved in it.
Colin is a fourth generational dairy farmer who farms with his son Nathan. He enjoys most working outside and couldn't imagine himself working in a factory or office. Farming his whole life, Colin recognises the importance of allowing Nathan to make his own career decisions without pressurising him.
We're easygoing, you know, he can please himself, like. And if he wants to do it, fine. That's fine. And if he doesn't, fair enough, you know, go and have a go at what he does want to do. Your heart's got to be in it and, you know, and try and make a living at it, or you've got to go and do something else that you do want to do. Life's too short, isn't it, not do what you want to do, really.
Colin has a pragmatic approach to the future of his farm.
If you want it, we'll keep investing in machinery and in sheds and what have you. But if you aren't interested, you know, there's no point, and we'll, you know, work to retirement and you go and find a career you want to do, like.
For son Nathan, he played with toy tractors as a child, and it wasn't long until he was driving the real ones. For him, farming has always been a passion of his, and one day he hopes to take over the family farm.
My dad hasn't really pushed me into it, it's been all my own decisions and what I wanted to do. Yeah, well, it is nice knowing I'm carrying it on, I suppose, yes.
Unlike some farmers, Nathan has benefited from working on and seeing other farms.
I did a placement year when I was 18, up in Buxton way, and that was different, because I learned about sheep and seeing something different from at home, because plenty of farmers are stuck in the ways of it, so seeing something different.
It's really important that it's explained to people.
Jill Meredith is a chartered accountant who has over 30 years of financial experience. Specialising in dealing with farming clients, Jill comes across both legal and human disputes within her work. She hopes that communication regarding succession planning becomes more explicit in farming families.
I hope that the younger generation will be more honest. You know, I think that young men now have got hopefully a better relationship with parents and can say, you know, no, I want to go and try something different. And quite often they come back and say, I really miss doing that. And, you know, but at least giving people a chance, whether it's going to agricultural college and seeing how it's done in different places and realising that they might actually enjoy it if it was done more scientifically, or just giving them the chance to move away and say, no, that's not for me, I want to do something completely different.
Communication within farming succession hasn't always been the greatest.
A lot of farmers are pretty, you got to be their way's the right way, and you more or less assume that you are going to carry on and what have you.
Parents weren't expected or pushed to become involved with the children's education like they are now.
And while some love farming,
Try to go to the police, but I don't think I'd be a person who would be very good in an office.
I did apply for a care home once, but didn't get anywhere, or Morrison's I think, but I thought it's a bit boring stacking shelves.
those not so keen also have potential possibilities.
Going to diversification, and that is to sell milk at raw milk, which is by the farm gate, and they also pasteurise milk and sell it into the people to make coffee out of it. That's, I think, is the way forward.
I've got quite a rich history in hospitality. I could do something with turning it into a brewery or a distillery or tea rooms even, I don't know. It's,
well, you see kind of Glastonbury's all set up on
yeah, festival site as well, that'd be brilliant.